The message popped up on my husband's phone while he was chopping onions in the kitchen. I miss you. 3 words that hit me harder than a punch. I stared at the screen. My hands went cold. My husband turned his back to me and hummed while cooking. He had no idea I was standing there with his phone in my hand. For a moment, I couldn't breathe. Then something inside me snapped. Instead of crying, I typed a reply.
Come over.
My wife isn't home today. My thumb hovered for a second. Then I hit send. Those 3 seconds felt like a lifetime. When the message delivered, I could almost hear something crack inside me. Maybe it was my heart. Or maybe it was the illusion of the man I thought I married. But the story didn't start in the kitchen. To understand why I did what I did, you need to know what my life had become. My name is Emily. I'm 32. I used to believe I had married the sweetest man alive. Mark was gentle, patient, always smiling. People often said I was lucky, but luck shouldn't feel like walking on eggshells. And for months, I felt something was wrong. Mark's shifts at work became longer. His phone started living in his pocket. He showered the moment he got home. He avoided my eyes when I asked even simple questions. One night I said, "Is everything okay?" He answered, "Just tired." But his voice trembled. Another night, I tried again. "Are we okay?" He forced a smile.
Of course we are.
The smile vanished the moment he looked away. I convinced myself it was stress. Bills. Workload.
Life.
But my gut screamed louder every day. I felt like someone else was living in my home. Someone I couldn't see. Someone who had taken my place inside his thoughts. The worst part was the silence. We shared a roof, but not a life. Our home had become a waiting room where I sat quietly hoping he would look at me the way he used to. He never did. The breaking point came on a rainy Tuesday. Mark rushed home earlier than usual. He looked nervous. I asked, "Did something happen at work?" He flinched.
No, why?
"You look upset," I said. He threw his bag on the table and muttered,
"Em fine."
"Stop worrying so much. Stop worrying." That was rich coming from the man who had turned into a locked box. But that night something strange happened. He fell asleep instantly. Deep sleep. Too deep. His phone buzzed on the nightstand. He didn't move. I picked it up. I know I shouldn't have. But sometimes the truth doesn't wait for permission. The screen lit up with her name.
Sophie.
A woman from his office. He had mentioned her once. Only once. He said she was new and quiet. Quiet women don't send hearts at midnight. Quiet women don't say, "I wish you were in my bed right now." My whole body trembled. The message burned itself into my memory. I whispered to the darkness, "Why would you do this, Mark?"
But he didn't hear me.
He didn't hear anything anymore. He had already left me emotionally.
I didn't sleep that night.
I sat on the floor and waited for morning. The next day, I pretended nothing was wrong. I smiled. I made breakfast. I kissed his cheek before he left for work. He didn't notice how cold my lips were. I needed proof. I needed clarity. I needed revenge. I started watching him more carefully. He left work late again and again. When he came home, he smelled like perfume that wasn't mine. He showered before hugging me. Every single
time.
My friends told me to confront him. But confrontation gives liars time to build better lies. I wanted the truth to reveal itself. I wanted him cornered.
Exposed.
Unable to run. The opportunity arrived sooner than I expected. 3 days later, that message appeared. "I miss you." She must have assumed he was alone. That he would respond with the same affection he had been giving her behind my back. But I responded instead. "Come over. My wife isn't home today." My heart raced while typing, but my hand was steady. I felt strangely powerful, as if I were finally steering my own life again. I slid the phone back near the kitchen counter. Mark turned around and smiled at me. "Dinner's almost ready,"
he said. "Good,"
I replied. My voice didn't shake. He made pasta.
He poured wine.
He chatted like nothing was wrong. Every word he spoke tasted like poison to me. But I let him talk. I let him laugh. I let him touch my hand, all while knowing someone was coming to destroy the image he thought he could maintain forever. My lungs felt tight when the doorbell finally rang. Ding dong. Mark froze. He blinked. His smile dropped. He whispered,
Who could that be?
I stared at him and said, Why don't you get it? Mark opened the door. Sophie stood there in a red dress with her hair curled. Her eyes sparkled until she saw me behind him. Her face drained of color. She looked at him as if he had betrayed her too, which was ironic, because he had. She whispered,
Mark.
What is this?
Why is she here?
He stuttered. Sophie.
No.
You shouldn't be here. I didn't. I didn't send that message. I stepped forward. I did. They both turned to me in shock. Mark's mouth fell open. Emily. Why would you?
Sophie asked.
You replied from his phone. I nodded. Yes. I wanted to see the woman who thought she could take my place. Mark grabbed my arm.
Stop this.
We can talk inside. Please don't make a scene. A scene. I looked at him with a calm I didn't know I had. You already made the scene. I'm just turning on the lights. Sophie's voice cracked. Mark, you told me you were leaving her.
You said you loved me.
You said she didn't care about you anymore. My stomach twisted. He was feeding her the same lies he once told me when he promised he would never hurt me. I asked, Is that true, Mark? Did you tell her that? He didn't answer. Silence is still an answer. Just uglier. At that moment I saw everything clearly. Not just the affair, but the person he truly was. A man who wanted comfort without responsibility. Attention without loyalty. Two women fighting for the scraps of his affection. No more. I looked at Sophie and said, You can have him. She blinked.
What?
Mark whispered, Emily. Stop. Please. I shook his hand off my arm. If he lies to me, he'll lie to you. I said, Take him, if you want. But remember this moment when he does to you what he did to me. Sophie stared at him with new eyes. Eyes that suddenly understood who he really was. She whispered, You told me she didn't matter. You told me you were unhappy. You lied to me too. Mark tried to reach for her. Sophie, listen. I can explain.
She stepped back. Don't.
I don't want to hear anything else. Her eyes filled with tears. She turned and walked away from both of us. Mark closed the door slowly. He looked at me with fear. Not sadness. Not guilt.
Fear.
Emily. He whispered.
We can fix this.
I was stupid.
It was a mistake.
Please don't leave me. I gave him a long look. You're right, I said softly. It was a mistake. But not the one you think. His eyebrows pulled together. What do you mean? I walked past him.
Come.
Steady. Ready. The mistake, I said, was loving you more than I loved myself. I packed that night. He begged. He cried. He followed me from room to room like a shadow, losing its shape. Please, Emily. I will change. I will do anything. Don't throw away our marriage. I stopped at the doorway and looked at him one last time. You threw it away long before tonight, I said. I just finally opened the door to see it. I left. I stayed with my sister for a while. I invested in myself. Therapy, gym, work, peace. Weeks later I heard through a mutual friend that Sophie cut ties with him completely. He tried chasing her too. But she didn't want damaged leftovers from my life. Mark moved out of town eventually. He tried texting me, calling me, apologizing. I never replied. I didn't need closure from the man who broke me. I built my own. And sometimes, late at night, when I sit alone with a cup of tea, I remember the moment the doorbell rang. The moment his lies collapsed at his feet. The moment I finally took my power back. It reminds me of one thing, one truth, one line that still feels like justice. I invited his lover into our home. And in that moment, he finally met the consequences he had been hiding from.